There we go. We're off and running,
We're
up
off.
and running. I was like, I, I don't know whether this is something that you experienced, Paul, but I was driving back from DC yesterday, and that's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, and it was at night, and my ADHD brain quite likes, on the one hand, it kind of quite likes that motorway, freeway, long distance driving, where you're just kind of like staying in one lane and you're just like making sure you don't miss your exit. And it's kind of quite nice. It's kind of quite calming. But at night, you've got all these lights that are kind of like zooming at you.
Yeah.
And I find that when we got to the hotel, it was late. I just went to sleep, and then all I could see in my head were these like lights just flying at me for ages.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got. Luckily, Martin, we're going to talk about sensitivities, and I've got a bit of a blurb about light sensitivity. Because
wow.
there is something in there. There's definitely something in there. There's something in there.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I get tired. I get kind of kind of tiredness in those. I think like everyone does, but apparently ADHD peeps can be more sensitive to it. Who would have known it?
I know, and I think that's the subject of our pod today. So, without further ado,
beautiful segue. What a beautiful segue!
I know.
It's almost like we're getting too professional at this game.
All right,
we've got to stop that.
We're getting too professional. Let's just wind it back a bit and just be our normal crap selves.
Exactly.
And let's welcome everyone to ADHDville.
Hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined ADH, and the D after 56 years of combining loads of other letters from the same alphabet, like W, T, and F.
Wow. And I'm Martin Weston. I was diagnosed with ADHD but a decade prior to this episode.
In the yonder. Okay.
In the yonder.
In the yonder. So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discover that we're co-ADHDers. Who would have thought it? Now, it's really important to say that this is an entertainment podcast about adult ADHD. It does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. So don't take any advice from us. No, don't do that. We're just here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with room for everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your body doubles, and your chaperones. Still here, great. Chaperones. Still here, great. Grab your jetpacks or whatever other mechanical devices you have for transportation, and let us take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we've created in our minds. Where we like to explore different parts of ADHD.
Indeed. And we start off, as always, here at the town hall in the mayor's office, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care of business. And I'm just looking at the let me just rattle some papers. Looking at the meeting agenda for this week, and number one, we have the return of the quiz.
Yes.
The quiz.
So
we'll be doing that.
It's already a froth of. There's a crowd building up outside.
I know. The ADHD town square is starting to fill up. I can look out of the window, I
Yeah,
can see
general
the
excitement going on.
postman's turned up, the
Yeah,
car
I think
mechanic.
we might have to bring in extra security.
I think I can see Pew Pew. Oh, and here's Barney McGrew.
Okay, and
I
Cuthbert
think,
has come along as
where is?
well.
Oh, whoa, oh yeah, yeah. I can see him, and I'm sure we'll see
I said, what's the
Dibble
other one? Dibble, yeah,
and
and
Grub
Grub.
following shortly.
Yeah,
That's a UK deep cut there. Yeah,
yeah,
so we've got the quiz that we'll do towards the end of the show. And number 2 is, how was your week? Good, bad, or
yeah.
indeed ugly?
Oh,
Um,
ugly. Yeah. Shall I
uh,
go? Yeah.
yeah,
Why?
well,
Mixed bag as ever at the moment. Mixed bag, Martin.
mhm.
Um, yeah. What have I written here? I've actually reading out from what I've written because otherwise I just can't remember it. But yeah, just like that same kind of theme of learning and unlearning, and yeah, I kind of like trying as much as I can to take joy and from this learning, having been diagnosed 8, 9 weeks ago. Trying to take joy from it, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like,
Right.
oh, you know, just no, you can't push it along. You might as well just like go with it,
Yeah,
go with the flow, try and enjoy it. So that's where I am with it, yeah. And
it's a
having,
process.
yeah, and I have difficult conversations with my girlfriend about it. She's saying like, she said, I don't feel like I need to learn anything about ADHD because I've got you. So I said, well, yeah. It's like she's got an open book right in front of her, walking around, you know, live,
All
and
right.
in Dolby surround sound all day and all night. And so I said, yeah, but I've got so much to learn and unlearn, you know. And
Right.
so, you know, it's like I can't do that all by myself.
Right.
But she said something really nice. She said, "Look, you're Paul before your diagnosis. You're Paul after it. So it's whatever. It's all good. It's all good."
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to put it. I thought.
So I'm guessing she's neurotypical. What do you think?
Ooh,
I mean,
I think she's dipping her toe
all
on
right.
the edge of it all.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
yeah. She's
That's
not
interesting.
big on the spectrum. She's not like it's not like Elvis on the billboard. You know, it's not like Elvis in Las Vegas. You
Right.
know, it's not like big. Yeah, she's more like Perry Como on the outskirts of Las Vegas. You know,
Perry Como.
On Wednesday nights
Okay. All right.
between
Yeah.
6 and 7.
I was going to say the early crowd. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
before the drugs come in.
Okay.
Right.
That's fair enough.
How
Um,
about you, Martin?
oh, man,
Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between.
there's the French have a word for it. I feel like garbage,
Uh huh.
garbage,
Gamache.
or as the Americans say, garbage.
Uh huh.
Um, I feel like crap, man. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh,
It's just been like
physically or both, or mentally.
mentally and physically drained and exhausted.
Okay. All right.
But there's been a lot of. I've been doing a lot of peopling, as they say,
Right.
lots of
Yeah.
peopling, and that's
Yeah.
quite exhausting. A lot of driving, a lot of peopling.
Mm,
It's fun,
mm,
but now I'm just tired. I'm just
yeah.
tired.
But it reminds me of that bar scene in Into the Wild. Do you know it? Where
No,
it's like a farm hand. Have you seen Into the Wild?
I don't think I have.
Oh, I've seen it like 12 times. One of my faves. Anyway,
All
it's
right.
like having a discussion with a guy in a bar. It's going, society, yeah, fucking society, yeah. In a negative way, it's like, yeah, it kind of like, ooh.
All right.
I'm in that phase at the moment. It's like, oh yeah, I'm done with socialising for a bit. Put me back in the cupboard.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still managing to kind of get the basics done, just like like food,
Right.
like
Yeah.
so I'm and getting dressed and things. So
Right.
I'm and taking care of the dog. So I think I'm you know I am
Yeah.
dealing with the very very basics currently.
Yeah.
All the extra stuff is just going to have to wait until I've managed to
Mm.
amass enough
Mm.
energy to kind of
Is that
get to
part
it.
of like getting a bit older? You like you take our joy from the really the most simple stuff. You
Hmm.
know, I had some joy yesterday. 'Cause my dog chased a rabbit,
Oh,
and it's
really?
like, oh yeah, it was great. He was so happy.
Who for?
It was like, what? Oh, not for the rabbit. Well, he didn't actually catch it. But he was like, all of his instincts kicked in. It's
All
like
right.
it's like look at me. Saying, this was what I was born to do. You
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
not sit in my
I,
basket.
no. No, this
Don't
is
get me
it.
wrong. You're lovely people, but I want to chase rabbits.
You're lovely people. I admire and respect you
I mean,
for what you do.
yeah,
However,
yeah. However,
oh,
those
oh,
fluffy bunnies,
mm-hmm.
there's no substitute for a fluffy bunny.
No, there isn't. All right. And then
Apparently, Hugh Hefner had the same theory, but different kind of bunnies, I suspect.
oh god, yeah. Blimey, what a guy. Anyway, well, let's hop into our
It's,
mayor's car,
hmm
and because I believe uh, we're going to be going over to the park, right? And we're going to talk
Yeah.
about weird
Mm,
sensitivities.
yes.
So this feels like a great place to maybe let your dog out and
Oh yeah.
catch
Good
rabbits.
idea. Good
All
idea.
right. All right. Well, let's hop in. Just a quick ride up the
That
street
was
to the
quick.
park. I know,
Yeah.
well,
Saving
everywhere
petrol.
in ADHDville is because it's quite compact.
Right.
So it's
Mm.
quite as
It's,
you know as Jotmare.
that's right. Well, it's like we call it. It's like veil. It could be just many things, but it's more like a what's it called? A hamlet in English. You call it a hamlet,
Yeah. It's a
or
little
if you
small
Italy, you
seaside
call it
town.
borgo, which comes
Okay.
from French, I think, of bourgeois,
Oh, blimey.
borghese.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some weird sensitivities. We've got down. I've got like a basic list here, like touch, light, sound,
Right.
taste
Well,
could go in there, right?
if before we
Mm.
zip off, let's just I like to define the thing that we're talking
Yes.
about. So we're all on the same page.
Yeah. This is
So
what you're
this,
good at. You're better at me than this. Way better.
right. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So what we're saying is ADHD. This what it is sensory overload, and this
Yes.
this is what happens when an ADHD is hypersensitive to sensory information. So it can be lights,
Mm-hmm.
it can be crowds. I mean, and we'll get into that. And what it does is it causes the brain to experience those those sensitivities more intensely than
Mm-hmm.
your average bear, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it leads to an overstimulation,
Yes.
and you have this fight or flight response, and
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get this thing where you start to feel anxious and there's
Mm-hmm.
anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and has all kinds of different,
Mm-hmm.
you start you can't focus on stuff, you feel a bit ill. I mean, you get restless, you can have panic
Mm-hmm.
attacks. I mean, and it can lead to all kinds of
Mm.
things. So that's generally
Yeah.
what we're
But it
chatting
doesn't
about.
necessarily have to be. Well, sometimes I like to think defining something is actually defining what it's not either. It doesn't always have to be a phobia. So like people like
Oh no,
serious phobias
it's
with
yes,
all of these things. and it is. I mean, phobia is based around fear. I think that's the
Hmm.
distinction. Whereas
Yeah.
what we're mostly talking about is just hypersensitivity
Yep.
and
Nail
the
head.
anxiety you get from being overstimulated.
Absolutely. And there's all
Yeah.
kinds of weird ones, right? I
Right.
mean, I know that I have a bunch. My wife
Yeah.
has a bunch. You have a bunch because you've talked about um, loud conversations in
Yeah.
restaurants.
Yeah. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Uh, yeah. I've talked a lot about the sound and the restaurant thing and yeah, bad acoustics and small spaces and lots of people and lots of noise drives me insane. Yeah, but I'm not going to go on too much about that because I've I've whiffed on about it quite a lot. Um, but I mean, it just what the sound thing does that resonate for you? No pun intended.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Okay.
and also for my wife as well. So, uh, there are certain sounds, and I think that's probably one reason why I became a musician is because I was just kind of quite. That was something that I was very sensitive to. So I can listen to something, and if it and some sounds will just really grate on me. I
Mm,
mean, I think everyone can appreciate the normal stuff, like like uh, chalkboard sounds and
yeah.
other kind of
Hmm.
things that you get. Um, but also you can hear it in music, in sounds. In sometimes it's things like repetitive sounds, like so the sound of an air conditioner. Some can be fine, and then others has this weird resonant thing going on with
Hmm.
it, and it's just like it's just like
Yeah.
you know what I find really I cannot I have real difficulty with the sound of those steel drums that you kind of get in like
Yeah.
Caribbean music and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is like someone firing ball bearings at my
Is
skull.
it really
Yeah, it is like I have to run
right?
away, run away. I can't.
Right.
My brain just says nope.
Right. Okay. 'Cause we're going to, I think we've got it coming up actually. We're going to do a podcast on ADHD and music. I think
Yeah.
it's in a couple of weeks' time, which is interesting because I just, on the opposite end of that, I love a banjo. There's something about the banjo that makes me just like feel like in a good place and not
Hmm.
having ball bearings, shot at my head.
Right. Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. I
What
mean,
about
like,
bagpipes?
you know what? Interestingly, I saw a little YouTube video. It was like it was like an old. I think it was 50s, may have been earlier than that. And it was a jazz band,
Mm,
and then the headline of the video was something like they said that you couldn't play jazz on bagpipes, and
right.
has a kind of normal classic jazz band, and then she gets up and starts playing the bagpipes, and it
Of
sounds really
course.
cool, and it
Does
sounds
it?
really cool
Okay.
in this
All right.
jazz
All
club
right.
context.
Oh, you'll have to send me
um
that. That sounds great.
I
See, I love the bagpipes. Something.
yeah,
Oh, when the Queen died, God bless her,
yeah,
and all that sailing her, and the bagpipes. I'm not a royalist at all, but
I
when
know.
the bagpipes started, her personal bagpiper. We all
Hmm.
have one of those, don't we? We've all got a
Well,
personal bagpiper.
I have a personal bagpiper that gets me up at 6:30 in the morning,
Right.
and a
Okay. Nice.
spare just in case he
Nice.
falls
Just
asleep.
okay. Nice. Yeah. When he started going, sounding his bagpipes, I got really emotional.
Oh yeah,
But I
that
think
was a
that's
moment.
tuning in to a bit of our heritage. You know,
Yeah.
living in the UK, me in the States, me being in Italy. it's like, oh, it takes you right back into your roots.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Also, I like
So
a also we have a well next on my list is lights, is light
yes, it's next on
sensitivity.
my list actually, Martin. It's a coincidence for you.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
that's why we're the same. That's you know what I was
yeah.
talking to someone who's who one of my friends, and he was like, and I've kind of heard this a bit now, you know, like from some of your mates. We look very similar,
Mm,
and we also apparently sound very similar.
yeah.
And I think
I
obviously
think
because
it
we're
goes
both
beyond that
British,
as well. I think we've got similar mannerisms. It's a
right?
bit, yeah, it's a bit freaky sometimes.
It is. It is.
A bit
Okay,
freaky.
so bright lights, number
Yeah,
two on the list.
yeah. So I'm going to tell you a little story, Martin. I had this thing. I
Oh,
was on holiday a few years ago. I was in Greece. It was like in August, like really, really hot. And at some point, I was getting, it turned out into every day I was getting severe fatigue, like
hmm,
exhaustion. I was like, what the hell is going on? Got back to Italy and I was like asking around about it and went to see an optician. And it's apparently it's because of my this is something particularly that people with ADHD are particularly sensitive to is too much light in your
hmm.
especially if you've
Eyes.
got in your eyes, especially if you've got like blue eyes or grey eyes like me. Uh, yeah,
Like
and
me as well.
so apparently that's a thing. There you go. And so you can get things from it. You can get like it's got here. I've got a list: eye pain,
Go on.
headaches, migraine attacks, dry eyes, chronic fatigue. So
Hmm.
my optician said, "You what you need is these really bloody expensive lenses." Oh God!
Really?
So yeah, it cost me a arm. They cost me an arm and a leg. But
Wow.
apparently, it's really important for people with light coloured eyes, but also people with ADHD. It's worth looking into. Apparently, light
Oh, for
sensitivity.
sure. You know, like if you get that, if I don't know if you've ever been in a place that has like has fluorescent lighting, and one
Yes.
of them is not firing quite right, and does that strobing
Yeah.
kind of
It,
weirdness,
it's
and it,
right here. It's got that as well.
right, and
Also,
it
with
just
LED, apparently,
yeah.
ADHD are sensitive to fluorescent and LED. Like, try and reduce it as much as you can in your house, and if you have to have it, try and reduce reflective surfaces. Ooh,
All right. You know what? It's so my wife is very sensitive to lighting, right? So
hmm
she will go around the house and turn, you know, and will turn lamps on and lights off and just get the balance right, and then she feels
there you
comfortable.
go. Right.
Um, as you can
Mm-hmm.
like if you're on the YouTubes, um, you can see like my background. I've got there's at least you know one, two, there's at least four lights going on behind me, and that's because I am I quite like lots of little lights. So
Okay.
so as a kid, I used to go. So every Saturday, my parents they would go down to the shopping mall, the shopping centre, and you go into one of these big stores. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in our case, it's like sort of it was like sort of Debenhams, or over in the States, it'd be like Sears or whatever. Um, and you go to the light section with where all the lamps are,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, and my brain just like it's like just lights up like a fairy wonderland. It's like I'm in my little personal heaven. I just
Really?
love
Okay.
being, you know, like those crystal chandeliers are all on the ceilings. It's just like, oh, I'm like bathed in like, oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
I've I've caused you to almost die.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so I am very so I like lights and
oh,
almost kind of
that's a shame. That's a shame. That's
it's a
strange. That's the
shame.
word I'm looking for. That's a shame. It's a shame. Apparently, you go against. There's some. I've got some research here. You go completely against that, Martin. In
Hmm.
1976, they did some research in a school, and that hyperactive behaviours increased quite dramatically, including fidgeting, lack of attention amongst ADHD children.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the same with adults as well. Um, I don't like a big bright overhead light. Like if you've
Right.
got ceiling lights, you've got a big bright one, and it just like lights up the whole room,
Hmm.
and that just, I mean, it just kills my brain. I just get very anxious. So I don't like a
Okay.
big bright overlight light, but I like lamps and little spots of light around me.
Right. Okay.
So
Right.
so it's still quite, the light levels are quite low still, but you just get these like interesting little pockets of light, and I actually quite like the reflections as well.
Oh, there you go. Just
Yeah.
fly in the face of
Hmm.
you know, which is good.
Yeah.
I there's this thing here, but I don't think I'm not sure if this is linked to ADHD. But if you have blue eyes like you and I do, it can
Hmm.
often there's often a link between bad hearing as well. Bizarrely, they're actually
Oh.
linked.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says here since the inner ear uses melanin and blue eyes come from a lack of melanin, some researchers hypothesize that there may be a link between eye color and acquired hearing loss.
Okay. Great. Looking forward to that
Great,
then.
yeah.
All right.
Um, but there's good news. If you have like blue eyes, you less likely to get cataracts. Hooray!
Bonus.
Bonus,
Bonus.
right? So, should we segue kind of
Next.
seamlessly onto taste?
Yes. What you mean, like food taste,
Yeah,
like
taste, not
smells?
style. Yeah, smells. I've got. Yeah,
All
I
right.
come
Let's
on. Have
look
you?
into taste.
Yeah. No, smells is another thing. Surely, I'm thinking
It
taste.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
I was just wondering whether they're similar, whether taste and I think there's a food
Mm,
texture thing, right?
yeah.
So that's one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
Which
I have,
I'm ticking them boxes. I'm ticking them boxes.
yeah.
I've got a thing with just things that are, like soft, like like overboiled vegetables. I've got a
Oh,
big
good
problem
God.
with that. Yeah.
Is it also? I mean, like, what about things like I'm just thinking about like oysters, for example. Not necessarily
Mm,
the taste, but that kind of
yeah.
slimy-ish
Yeah.
sort of
I had the same
texture.
with
Is that?
mushrooms for a while. Then I found out they're really fucking nice to eat. So I've got over that quite quickly.
Oh wow, really?
I've got over the shroom problem. Yeah, when I was a kid, I hated the shroom because of the texture. Then I found out they're really nice.
Oh, and then you just got over the whole texture thing.
Oh man, I love a shroom. Got over
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I do like shrimp. I'm just trying to think of certain textures. If there's any textures of food, I don't think so. I think I'm
No,
generally okay. I know that
because
smells. Go
yeah.
on.
Well, just on the taste, the texture thing. Bizarrely, the opposite of soft is crunchy. And
Hmm.
that's my go-to.
Yeah,
Crisps,
yeah.
crisps.
Chips in
But
American.
then, chips, and if the chips or the crisps happen to be of acidic, therefore salt and vinegar flavour,
Salt and vinegar.
I'm all over those like a nasty rash. Or I've got a
Oh,
massive weakness for acidity.
all right. So
Yeah.
when you do buy those Haribos, Are you in the like sour
Oh yeah,
camp? Oh yeah,
sour. Yeah,
nice. I know
nice.
that. All right. So that one other, which I was just saying earlier, one other um, sensory thing is smells, which I don't think I particularly have any. So that would be things like particularly strong smells that would affect you, like food,
Mm,
perfume, cleaning products. I
mm.
don't. I think. I
I've
think
got
I'm pretty
one.
normal on that one.
I've only
Yeah.
got one on the smell things. I can't stand. Oh, there's two actually. Come to think of it, one is well, I don't think if you have this in the States, but in Italy they use pure alcohol for cleaning
All right.
because it's cheap and it's just really effective and really traditional, whatever. And it's just it's horrendous. I really
Okay.
hate that smell. Pure alcohol. It's
Hmm.
nasty. And the other one is I can't remember what it's called. Man, there is another one, but it's in that kind of ballpark of kind of
All right.
smells, kind of acrid.
Yeah. One thing that's one thing that does bother me, like I think it's probably along with light. This is my other one, which is tactile
Mm,
stimulation. So that's how things feel. So
yeah,
things like
touch.
materials and touch, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's that is that is a big one for me. Like
is it
like
now?
there are so sweaters. I'm just looking at your sweater now on the
Mm,
YouTube, and I'm thinking, I if I touched that, my fingers would recoil.
really? Okay.
Yes, be like, we're like,
Well,
you've said
hop
this
over,
thing
mate. Hop over and give it a try.
where no, right, where your teeth itch. You know that,
Yeah.
and I know that's what it's like. And even now, just thinking about touching it, it's like my fingers are trying to
Oh man.
crawl
Okay.
back into
Yeah.
my arms. Like if they could recoil, like a
Right.
snail's eye stalks, just like a
Right. Okay.
back inside.
So, so you
That's
look
what they
like
want to do.
you look like a T-Rex at this moment.
Yeah, except without the hands, it would just be like a little stubby arm. So
Okay.
So my sweaters, like
Hmm.
this thing here, is kind of rough. I like a really rough, kind of
Do you?
coarse sweater. Like so, it's like a Brillo pad. It's like a yeah, it's like a cleaning pad for your pans. It's like I like that.
Oh, okay.
I I can deal with it. Like
So, okay.
there. I mean, is this a thing for you or
No,
not?
no. I read that it's quite common that people have a problem with when you've got like labels in the that are like in the bag inside
Cut
your
them off.
clothing. Cut them
Yeah,
off. I do that. I do that.
yeah. If I can
Yeah, that.
feel it, it's coming
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. Like your appendix.
Hmm. Not
Um,
needed.
no, no,
Vestigial.
not needed. I don't think I've got anything on that. But I've got one thing, and I think it comes into this particular category. Water on my face. I've got here.
Hmm. That's a tactile sensation for sure.
Yeah, I have a big problem with water on my face. I
Yeah,
could
I
do
don't.
it, but I can't put my head under the shower. My face. I could put my head under the shower, but not my face.
Right. I'm with you on that. I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like it.
Yeah, unless I control it. So it's quite bizarre. So if
Right.
I can gather it in my hand and like splash it in my face, and that's
Right.
fine. But I have to be in control of that
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah. That agreement between you and the HTO, H2O rather.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So like when I go swimming, um, I don't like. It's like all the men, pretty much. They all do the classic front crawl, right?
Hmm.
but that basically involves putting your face in the water if you're going to like
There you go.
put your
Yeah,
head
yeah, yeah,
down and then you go up to breathe, and
yeah.
which I cannot do. Well,
No, I can't. Yeah,
I can, but my whole body just recoils. So
right.
I'm just doing this nice gentle uh,
Mm-hmm.
breaststroke. Is that what it's called? We just like when your
Breaststroke. Yeah,
head's right above the water, and you're just like
yeah,
doing a little frog maneuver
yeah,
up the lanes.
yeah. That's
That
me too. As same.
right, and then
And
there's
it's for the same reason I've never learned to dive.
right.
I'd like to conquer it. It's on my list. I think it was
Okay,
in last year's or this year's um, list of what's it called? The things you do, stupid things you do in
a
January.
bucket
You
list.
do
No,
bucket list. Yeah, well, yeah. And to learn to dive. I'd love to do it, but yeah, same problem with the water in the face.
right, because there's a guy who I call Splashy McSplasherson. As
Right,
this older guy, and his technique is appalling. It's like
right.
so he
Mm.
slams his feet and his arms down into the water. It causes these huge splashes, and I
That
mean
sounds like me.
he puts in a lot of effort. A lot
Right.
of effort goes into it,
I
and
can I can I can sympathise with him. What's his name?
Splashy
Splasher.
McSplasherson.
Okay, because I've never got the concept of floating. Never got it. I feel like my body, my instinct is like I need to like fight it like hell, the water, in order to not to sink.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how to float.
Right. Well, if you relax, then you weirdly float. It's like
Yeah,
the more you relax, the more you float.
yeah, I've
And
heard that.
the more you don't, and the more you sink to the bottom like a stone.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's an urban myth.
Ugh. Anyway, okay. I mean, I have the last one on my list is like is crowds and crowded places
Mm, mm,
where there's like
right.
like some bus stations and airports, and like
Yeah,
shopping places where it's just a lot going on, and
yeah.
it's like a lot of sensory input. There's like noise, there's people. um
Mm.
it's quite an
Hubbub.
anxiety, a general hubbub, if you will,
Yeah.
of stuff going on. It, I mean, so I I I mean, I don't think so much for me. I mean, it is intense. I mean, it's like I can only
Mm.
do that kind of environment for a while, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm glad to be out of it.
My sensitivity towards that is getting. When I was younger, it didn't used to bother me at all. Now it really bothers me to be like crowded spaces. It's like, oh, and you can't wait to get out. But then if the rewards are good, if you like a really good concert,
Hmm.
I can, as I did this summer, in amongst them, you know, not in a mosh pit exactly, but close.
Hmm.
Um, and no problem at all. No problem at all. But yeah, it depends what if there's a reward for me. If it's like, oh, I hate being in queues. Um, and then
Well, that's just
yeah,
kind of
or,
a
or
general. It's a slightly different thing,
yeah, it's different. Yeah,
but
but yeah, I
yeah,
don't really have that. Really, not really.
not really. I mean,
Not really.
I so I can remember being at festivals, and I've been and or even going to concerts, even though the band if they go on for too long, my
Mm,
brain just starts to shut down after a while.
yeah.
Like I can only really do about an hour of a band and enjoy it,
Mm,
maybe an hour and a half, and
yeah.
then
I know
I
what you mean.
start to
Actually.
slide off because and I'm kind of going, I love this band, I love this song, but there's so much input that I
Yeah.
can only cope for cope. I mean, I'll
Mm,
enjoy it. I'll enjoy it. I'll love it. I'll be enjoying it, and
yeah.
then after about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, my brain
Mm,
just goes, "Okay, well, I'm done now. I've got to.
yeah.
I can't
Well,
process
funny
this
enough,
anymore."
I was at a concert this summer. I went to see Neil's Farm in concert. He was really good. I mean, like towers and towers of computers and keyboards all over the place, and he was really great. But in that situation, I was really really trying to concentrate on it, and I can get into a semi trance state when I'm really into the music, and I can
Hmm.
shut out everything.
Nice,
I could shut out everything. Yeah.
lovely.
Even with Italian crowds are the worst. Love you, Italians, Italy, peeps in general, but the worst people to go to concert with. They just talk really loudly over all the music.
Uh,
It drives me insane. Yeah,
right, because that falls into your camp of
yeah,
like I think you can deal with things when there's just one thing to focus on, right?
yeah.
So, so even so, yeah, you are sensitive to noise and a lot of stuff coming at you. But if you can just
Hmm.
focus on one thing, then it's
Hmm.
okay. But when you start getting multiple conflicting
Yeah,
audio inputs into you,
yeah,
then your brain just
yeah.
kind of goes,
Exactly,
ah, I can't cope with
exactly.
tracking
Yeah.
two or three things.
Yeah, but it also because it also really ruins my enjoyment. Because I've like such I can get such joy, in that trance-like state that I was describing before. It's a
Mhm.
really nice place to be, and I really love being in that, totally absorbed in something. And if
Right.
someone takes that away from me, it's like, oh God, really?
Yeah.
Why?
All right. So,
So
do
there
you
you
have
go.
anything else on your little list
I
of
don't. Oh
things
God,
to
no.
before I wrap up?
No, let's wrap up. Just don't make
All right. So,
just don't make too much noise wrapping up.
all right. I will. I'll try and do it as
Yeah, just wrap up
AMSR as
quietly.
possible. Just quietly
Okay,
doing. So,
lovely.
help. How can we help? How can we help ourselves with all this
Mm,
overloading stuff? So, for one thing, obviously, you can avoid situations that you kind of know you feel anxious in. So, if you
yeah.
can avoid them or change them
Hmm.
in some way. Um,
Hmm.
so that's one thing. So,
I with the noise thing. If you can, I've learned to kind of explain to people that I have particularly problems with, small confined spaces and kind of reverberating kind of multiple discussions and music and everything on top, and I just make an excuse and kind of either get a pause or
mhm,
just kind of move away from that. Yeah.
right. I know that noise cancelling headphones
Oh
can
yes.
really help when you're going
Mm,
walking around and
yeah.
anyway, just
And
to kind of
in airports as well, they're great.
yeah.
They're great
Have you
things.
seen those loop headphones? Loop, I think they're called
No.
loop headphones, I think, or loop earpiece. I don't know, but they're kind of like little tiny loops that you put in your ear, and it cuts down the
Okay.
amount of noise going on, so
All
that you can just
right.
focus on one thing. I think there's different varieties for different kinds of audio,
Okay.
for
Loop.
listening, and then
I have to
loop.
look.
Yeah, yeah,
I have to
loop.
look that up.
They're all over the TikToks, I can tell you.
Are
So
they?
loop, yeah.
Okay.
So I think
Um.
there's one variety which is about about conversations. I think about like people talking and
Okay.
stuff. That might be useful. Um,
Okay.
then
On
there's
the accessories things, I've got on the light sensitivity, good glasses. for filtering fluorescent light, blue light, you know,
Oh
and
yeah,
artificial light in general. Good glasses.
yes.
Um,
I have blue light lenses
yeah,
on these bins, as I say.
yeah. I've also got these glasses. They're reactor light lenses, so they get darker, and
Ooh,
yeah, helps a lot. Hello,
yeah,
just really good.
yeah. Sunglasses help. Um, things like sort of weighted blankets are quite nice for reducing anxiety. Have you ever tried a a weighted blanket?
I, it's virtually it's one of my favourite sports. Virtually,
All right.
I love God. Yeah, I love heavy blankets.
Yeah, they're great.
Love it. Yeah, yeah.
I like a nice tight fitting hat. You know, like
Do you
so.
now?
Yeah, like one that's kind of like just sort of compresses your head a little
Mm,
because it may
right,
be just a little bit too small for your head, and it
right.
just kind of squishes in a bit.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay. Well, on
that's nice.
that thing, I can't stand gloves, and I think this falls into this discussion. Can't stand gloves. Ooh, no, 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 no.
There you go. So there is a bit of a
Right.
touch sensitivity
There is a bit. There is a bit
thing
there,
going
isn't
on.
it? You see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I find gloves. Yeah, they. I can't buy gloves just like off the internet. I would have to like, put my hands in them just to see whether I can deal with it or not.
Right.
Um, yeah, you know. And then after that, it's just like meditation and mindfulness in the
Mm,
moment when you're kind of feeling anxious. Like I remember, I was on a Virgin flight years ago, and there was like a little, I was looking down the scrolling of the options of things that you could listen to, and there was
mm,
one that was like a meditative, relaxing thing. So I thought, oh, let me try this, right? And it was basically a thing where it said, right, um, you're in this crowded space that you're in, and you have to listen to all of the noise that you can hear all around you, all the stuff that's kind of causing you anxiety. You have to listen to that for a bit, just acknowledge that it's all there, and then
mm,
you find there's a door right next to you, and you open the door and you go through the door, you shut it, and then you're in this in a place. And I chose a beach, right? So I just find
right.
myself on this beach. Then you have to then you imagine the kind of warm sand on in your
Mm,
feet and the sound of the waves, and you're looking out into the sea and the palm trees, and then you just
mm,
try and stay in that space, and you just look around you,
right. You
and
just
and
triggered something,
all right,
another sensitivity. You just
yeah,
brought that up.
mm-hmm.
Sand between my toes. Can't
Oh
stand it.
right, you'd be like
There's
no
another
to
one. There's another
this.
one. Can't wait to have the shower in the evenings. Like get that sand off.
Oh right, yeah.
There you go. There's me saying I don't have anything like that at all. Yeah, that's sand between your toes. Oh God.
So is it like if you're on the beach and that sand between your toes, like that's
Yeah,
like it's that moment where you kind of go,
yeah,
"Oh, this feels weird,"
yeah,
and I feel uncomfortable and I feel stressed, and I should be relaxed, but now there's sand between my
yeah.
toes. There's a
Exactly.
flipping there's a seagull
Yeah,
squawking at me.
exactly. While you're meditating,
Right, I was supposed to be bloody
it's like
meditating, but no.
provocating me. So I look to my right. It's Marty's. He's fucking meditating.
Yeah, I'm in my little zen zone, and you're just like having a quiet panic attack in your speedos.
Exactly. In my budgie smugglers.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So you're meditating. You're in the beach. You're at the beach.
Right. So, but
Yeah.
it sounds like that would be bad for you. So you can just find
Yeah.
some other place to be.
Woodlands. Woodlands. I go to the woodlands.
Woodlands. You're just like in the
Yeah.
woods on a path and just looking around. There's birds and
Yeah.
leaves, and
Yeah.
it's all kind of nice.
Sound of a
And then
stream.
and then you just try and stay in that place, right? You just
Yeah.
walk around. You just try and then every time
Mm.
you're brought out of it for some reason,
Yeah.
you just like, oh, okay. You just
Yeah.
find the door, go back in the
Yeah.
door, find yourself
But
back
then
in the forest.
we used to do that. I'm not sure about you, Marty, but I think we by by just because to survive commuting to London every day, you do become skilled at shutting out stuff. With or
Hmm.
without headphones. Because you
Yeah,
have to. You go crazy otherwise, right?
yeah, yeah.
You do gain those kind of skills.
Hmm. Oh yeah. All right. So I think that just about wraps
Alrighty.
that. So so rather than get in the car to go back to the town hall, I think we'll just walk back, and then while we're
Yeah.
walking back, we have this. You have a quiz,
Well, I do. Yes,
apparently.
Martin. Thanks for asking.
All right. So if we
Yes.
had a quiz
Yeah.
jingle, we would play it right now. In fact, I
Yeah.
should
Do we have to
make one.
imagine it? We're just imagine it.
Yeah, just okay. I'm going to play it now.
Okay.
What do you think?
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I think it works. Works for me.
All right, great,
Yeah.
perfect.
It's got to be just in the right mood.
Hmm. Good.
Yeah. So what I've got for you, Martin, it's a multiple choice.
Oh well,
Hooray!
you
Okay.
love those.
Yeah. Because I think that it was the thalamic gate, okay, which is quite a crucial part of the brain for us, because that's what
Okay,
decides what gets through to the frontal cortex. Okay, it's like there's
thalamus
like
gate.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
For us
Okay.
ADHD, there's like two bouncers on the door, and they said, "Oh, your name's not on the list. You can't get in." Right? For
Right.
us ADHDers, right? Or if they
Okay.
do let us in, it's reluctantly after like 3 hours in the rain, waiting there.
Right.
So that got me thinking, right? So
Hmm.
it's like a strange name. So I started looking it up. What if there's some similar names? So
Okay.
I've got a list of things, and you've got to guess.
Right.
There's five in each category. You've got to guess which is not part of the brain of all
Oh,
these
okay.
names, right?
All right. You're going to give me a
Not
bunch of
part
names.
of
I
the
have to work.
brain. Yeah.
Right. It's not part of the brain.
Are you
All right.
ready?
God.
The
Okay.
medullary pyramids. Okay, is one.
Okay.
Two, th- thalamic gate.
Thalamic gate. Right.
Okay. Three, the angular bundle. Right?
Thank you,
Didn't she
bundle.
used to present the 9 o'clock news? Oh no, that's Angela
Yeah.
Ripple. Angular bundle.
Ripple.
Four, the 5-HT7 receptor.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Five, zonule of Zinn. Okay?
Well, right. That
Named
sounds
after
like.
Johann Gottfried Zinn, born in 1727. Died very
All
young,
right.
1759. German anatomic botanist. Okay. But one of those five is not part of the brain. Do you want me to give you another?
No. No. I'm going to go straight for number 5, because if he's a famous botanist, then what the hell's he doing in the brain area?
And no, anatomist and botanist.
Oh, god damn it!
Yeah.
All
He
right.
was quite a
All
busy
right.
man.
Then I'm going to go with the. All right. Then I'm going to change my mind and go with the angular bundle. I know
Okay.
that it sounds like a bunch of nerves, the nerve endings,
Butcher
but
nerves. It's the angular bundle. Is the angular bundle? It's a composite fiber tract within the ventrolateral aspect of the lateral ventricle temporal horn in the brain.
oh,
And
all
actually,
right.
it's zonule of Zinn that
Oh,
is not part of the brain. Should have
I should have stuck
stuck.
with my original.
Should have
Okay.
stuck.
All right.
Okay.
Number 2.
Fear,
All right.
fear not. I've got another list.
Okay.
Okay. Same thing. Okay.
Yep.
Arachnoid matter.
Okay, sounds like spiders.
Arachnoid matter.
Okay.
Superior cistern.
Okay, sounds like a good toilet.
Brodmann areas 23, 24, 26. 4. Endiger Westphal nucleus.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ. Okay.
5. Ludwig Trapp's space.
See, I like how this quiz is like a bunch of words that you're having trouble saying.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
struggle.
all right, I think spider's probably like a shape, and then okay, you went 5 last time. I reckon it's probably like number. I can't remember what 3 was, but I'm. Oh, it
Bodman,
was the yeah,
Brodmann areas 2, 23, 24, 26.
yeah, because I don't think it is the Brodmann areas 24, 26,
Yeah.
20. Go on then.
Unfortunately, you're wrong. Brodmann
Oh,
areas 23, 24, and 26 are the subgeneral cingulate area of the cerebral cortex of the brain.
Jesus. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
I'm winning it.
By the way, the arachnoid matter is the
Yeah.
protective membrane that covers the brain and the spinal cord.
All right.
It's like the gooey stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
The part that's not part of the brain is the Ludwig Traub space.
All
Okay,
right.
it's a part of the lung,
Okay.
crescent-shaped space encompassed by the lower edge of the left lung.
All right.
Ludwig Traub. Okay, so can you imagine all the fun I've had researching this? Can you imagine?
Jesus Christ.
Imagine.
Those
Okay.
those those winter nights must fly by.
So last on the, you're probably glad to hear.
Mm.
Are you ready?
Yep.
One of these is not part of the brain. I repeat,
Okay.
not part of the brain. Okay.
Got it.
Diagonal band of the Broca.
Okay.
Fusiform gyrus.
All right.
Subgenital area 25.
Subgenital?
Subgenial. Genual.
Okay.
Subgenual area
All right.
25. Okay. I'm
All
sure it makes
right.
all the difference, doesn't it? I pronounced it
Well,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Number 4. Trapezoid body.
Okay.
Okay. Number 5. Organ of Zuckerbrandl.
I'm not. Oh, wait. What? That sounds like a similar one to the first one. Um, I am.
Yeah, it's a lot
I,
of Zs. I just grabbed 2 from the Z areas.
right.
Yeah.
You know that fourth one, the angle of what was it? The
Um, okay, 1 is diagonal band of Broca, 2 is fusiform gyrus, 3 is subgenual area of 25, 4 is trapezoid body,
right trapezoid
5.
body just sounds so generic that,
Mm,
I'm
mm,
going with that. It just sounds like a very generic name. All the
yeah,
others
no,
sound
it's
very
not.
specific.
No, it's part of the brain, it's part of the auditory pathway. That's what, if you
Uh,
didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to hear me going through this quiz. For, for
uh,
example, the odd one out is not the
yeah.
odd one out, sorry. The one that's not part of the brain is the organ of
Oh, is that
Zuckerlundl,
Z thing again? Like a,
named after Emil Zuckerlundl, Hungarian anatomist and chromophilin body. Is a part of the chromophilin body derived from the neural crest located at the bifurcation of the aorta. It's part of the
Jesus,
heart, basically. It's a struggle.
such a oh god,
There
such
you go.
a
Can you imagine?
butchering of the English
Imagine all
language.
of our listeners and watchers thinking, "Oh, I know this one.
Right.
putting their hands up. Oh, come on, Martin, this one's easy."
All right. Well, so I completely failed. Um, all right.
Okay,
So, all right. Well, that was good.
right, yeah,
I think the entertainment for me was you trying to pronounce a lot of
right,
medical
yeah, yeah.
lingo.
Oh, but I think, but we all learned something, didn't we?
We
I
all
think
learned something,
we all learned something. We'll take something out of it.
right? All
Yeah.
right. So, I think we can. Uh, all right.
Go to
So
the
we're
post
just
office, are we now? I think.
yeah. So we're supposed to be at the post office, but we've just walked back to the town
All right.
town hall. But I think we can
Okay.
definitely say that you can do your bit for sure. Your little,
Yes,
your
yes.
little.
Well, I should say at this point, thank you for queuing me up there, Martin. Your feedback is vital to us, it says here. So we'll be reading all of your comments, and we might even read some of them out on a future podcast. So, it's a
Right,
win-win situation.
right. I did have some feedback. It was more
Oh,
verbal, which was they really liked the. I had this analogy that it was ADHD. Coping with it is like taking your ADHD and putting it into the ball pit
all right. Yes.
to keep it amused while you go and do the boring shopping part. So they
Yeah.
liked that. They thought it was a
Nice.
good analogy.
It
So
is, that was nice. It
yeah,
was nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back in
Okay.
the town hall. Got up the stairs. We
Hmm.
passed the accounts department and who aren't speaking to us. Um,
No,
on
we've been
on.
shunned by our own employees.
I know. I know. I know. I
We
don't.
pay
I
them
have
quite well
no
as
idea.
well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the fact that we've got guests coming up, and we're starting to
Right.
spend some serious cash on, because when we have
Yeah.
guests on, I don't know whether anyone knows, but they all want, they all want picking up in their own private
Yeah.
jet, and they want
Exactly.
all the trappings, and they want
Yeah.
all the red Smarties, all the M&Ms taken out.
Yeah. And you get
Um,
like people like what's her name? The amazing amazing female singer, jazz singer. I can't remember her name, but she apparently she's famous because she always insisted on she only wanted three things. Okay, she wanted to be paid, obviously, but the other thing, the three things you couldn't miss was she wanted champagne, sausage, and cocaine.
all right,
Nina Simone, that was her tick list: champagne, sausage, and cocaine. She wouldn't turn up if you didn't
likes
have them.
likes a nice juicy banger. Does
Yes,
does does Nina?
yeah, the mash
Um,
is stop too early.
all right.
Yeah,
So, all right. So we're kind of back in the town hall, and I'm just getting my meeting out. Okay, there we go. All right. So the next on the agenda is for me to tell
mm,
you that ADHDville gets delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most magnificent. And feel free to
yes, yes.
correspond at will in our comments. But wait, there is more. If you wish to see our
Ooh,
beautiful, beautiful faces, then sally
hello,
forth to the YouTubes where we are there. And if you're already on the YouTubes and you can sally back to listen to us on
yeah,
Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Um,
Google Play.
Right, and you can, and if you feel so inclined, you may pick up a quill and email us at adhdville@gmail.com.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Uh,
alrighty. We've
so,
got as ever. It's become quite a tradition now. We send each other homework, and even if we do or we don't do it anyway. Even if we set the homework, we don't do it,
I know,
and we haven't done it.
we haven't.
Did we have any? Can't even
That's
remember.
because we're crap. Well,
We're
the
just so
current one,
professional.
which does irk my brain somewhere is that we're supposed to be doing portraits.
Yeah, there was another one that superseded that. We've already superseded that homework.
Oh dear. All right.
Yeah, there's already something else we haven't done that superseded it. I was going to do like a big whiteboard version of my to-do list. Like just
Oh
go
yeah.
do a to-do list in big version,
All right.
big. I didn't do that. Didn't do it.
All right. Okay.
Haven't done the portrait either.
All right. Yeah.
All
I
right.
will. I will say, like just going back a couple of eps where you were saying about if you do rapid blinking of things,
Hmm.
remember where they are. So
Yeah.
I have been I've been trying to do that over the last
Okay.
couple of weeks, and what I found is weirdly, at least for me, I don't remember the object
Right.
of the thing, but I remember the place, like the actual area, right?
Right.
So wherever I've done that rapid blinking thing, I can remember. Oh, it was the corner of that table or whatever, or wherever, and I can remember where
Okay.
it is, but I don't remember the thing
Right.
I'm
Well, it's a
looking
start,
at.
isn't it? It's a start.
But well, at least I kind of think, right, well, it's normally I remember the thing in my head, but not where it is, right? So I might go, where are my keys?
Right.
Where are my keys? And the blinking thing did at least kind of go, oh, you were blinking at this on this table
Right. Okay.
yesterday, so maybe it's there. And I think that's
Right.
maybe, at least in my brain, that's how it works.
Okay. All right.
I know the object, and the blinking just kind of really, you know,
Okay.
I just think of areas of my house,
Right.
and then it's like,
Okay.
oh, and then I can put
Well,
them
I mean,
two
if it works,
together. If it works, it works.
it
If it works, it
works.
works.
If
All
you put the
right.
two fingers together. Zzz, brrr.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That just remains for us to like
Mm,
dance our way out, stage left,
mm.
and to say thanks for being here. Check out
Yes.
our show notes for any links that we may or may not have put in there. Visit us on YouTube, the Cupboard of Friends, known as Facebook, Instagram, and the
Yes.
TikToks, which is doing really
And the
well. So
TikToks. Yeah.
come
Yeah.
and find us there. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
I'll just say, know thyself, sons of the hounds. Come hither and get flesh.
Indeed. There, says the bear. That's that.
Yes. That's that.
I forgot to load that little bit of sound in.
Oh, yeah.